Um, Let me ask you about DJ Reed. He's obviously not the typically sized guy that you have on the outside. How have you seen him play that position and whatever it usually demands of guys who are usually bigger?
Right, you've seen the work he's put in. You've seen the impact he's had on the team, and he's just really smart. He plays and practices at a certain level, and you can see why he performs the way he does. He's hungry, he's eager, and he's earned his right to play. And we appreciate the way he approaches things, and he's doing a heck of a job for us.
Bob?
Um, yeah, Ken. Statistically, anyway, the first game against the Rams at halftime, it seemed like you sort of turned a little bit of a corner, and the defense has been playing a lot better since then. Do you remember anything in that game that that really started to click at all? Or
Oh well, we just go in anytime we play the Rams. We know it's going to be tough, and it's going to be really hard-fought game. But I think at that time, going to the halftime and going to the second half, we had a lot of sudden change situations, and it was one of those moments where you got to decide if you're going to, you're going to handle the storm, you're going to handle all the things that are happening, or you're going to give in to it. And the guys really came together. It was a game that we really felt like that second half. I think they scored maybe 3 points or so. That it was one of those moments that the guys really came together, really understood what the plan was. They really played and communicated together, and I think that from that point on, it's been pretty solid.
Greg?
Hi, Ken. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. What did you get out of Quentin Dunbar this season? What didn't you get?
Well, it's hard to say. He's new to us, and we don't have a lot of information on exactly how his health was when he wasn't here. But it felt like from the day he got here, he wasn't 100% of himself. At the same time, he's overcoming the injury, and we hadn't had a lot of information about how he plays with injury or if that's the way he plays. So it was a situation where obviously there's some work that needed to be done on his knee, and it's fortunate now that he's able to get that done. But really good player, really smart. Guys really work with him well. You can tell that he's got some really special stuff about him. He was just unable to continue it over a long period of time.
Art?
Ken, when you were a player with the 49ers, did you remember meeting John McVay's Rugrat grandson?
I did see some young guys around there. It was John McVay's grandson. It was a lot of different coaches had their kids there. Even the head coach now at the 49ers was just a little young buck at that time, just running around. But it's fun to see the guys grow up and do as well as they are. You could tell at early age that they are just football gym rats, and it's good to see that they grew up to be fine young men.
Following up, can you assess what John McVay meant to the 49ers in terms of player acquisition and judge of talent?
Well, you can just tell by what the 49ers were able to do over the years and the great players that have come through there, the scouting department and general manager, the way they put it together. It's just name after name after name that comes up about players that they drafted and guys that really they developed into being the great players that they are. So it's I think the record, the names speak for themselves, the things that they were able to accomplish, in the 80s and the 90s.
Maz Vita?
Bobby Wagner was named to another Pro Bowl, and he told us that the first time he was named the Pro Bowl, you and Pete called him up and kind of played a joke on him. I wonder if you remember that, and then what does it mean for a player to get to the Pro Bowl since you were named a couple of them?
Right, speak of the devil right here. Bobby, very special moment. Anytime you go to the Pro Bowl for the first time, it's like the first time you do anything. Coming up as a young player, being named amongst the league's best is a really, really big deal. And for us knowing Bobby and scouting him and drafting him and developing him the way we did and how hard he worked and the way he earned it. It was such a special moment for us to call him and to let him know. He didn't believe us at first, but Bobby, in his own manner, really was humble about it. And as you can tell, he only gets better. Some people become the best, and that's their goal. He wants to become the best of the best. And it's really exciting to see him continue to improve even after, 7 Pro Bowls. It's really exciting to see.
Jackie.
Hey, Coach, kind of piggybacking off that, Quandre Diggs also named to the Pro Bowl the first time in his career. Can you just speak to that and what that accomplishment means for him?
Well, just knowing, Quandre, how we do, and again, when you see these players make the Pro Bowl, you can just watch the routine. You can tell by the way they approach the game, by the way they approach others, by the way they play, by the way they practice. You can tell a certain type of player who has a certain intent. They're here for a reason and a purpose. And Quandre has been amazing from the time he stepped in this building, about how he worked with people, how our secondary has become really solid when it might not have been as solid before he got here. We're very lucky to have him. And again, just like Bobby Wagner, Quandre's only hit the tip of the iceberg. He's only going to get better and better. He has a certain thing about him where he's not satisfied with one. He wants to piggyback with a few of them, and that's just the type of player and man he is.
And then looking at the game this weekend, the last time you played the Rams, you guys didn't have Shaq, you didn't have Benson. Jamal was playing with the injured shoulder. Do you feel like this team is healthier and better equipped to face the Rams this time around?
Well, we would think so. It really doesn't matter. We're not the type of group to make excuses. It's just a matter of practicing, performing, and when it's time to go. And we're excited for this opportunity. We have a lot of our frontline players ready to roll, and it's important for us to put out a really good showing because they've really earned the right to be in this type of game. The storms and the things that we went through this year to get to this point now, and for everybody to be standing strong, it's exciting for them to really work through the tough times and let them see the reward at the end to be in a game like this and to challenge a really fine team like the Rams. They're pretty doggone good, and we're excited for the challenge.
Tim.
Ken, with all the restrictions that COVID has put on the amount of time you can interact and the types of interactions you can have with players, what's maybe the biggest change you've had to make as a coach this year on a day-to-day basis? And maybe what's a new skill you've had to pick up this year that you never thought you were going to have to learn in order to coach in the same way?
Right. Well, I learned a lot of iPad skills. Technology-wise, got a little better on just how to put in the meeting IDs and things like that. But as far as the meetings and the player standpoint, it really allows you to go into detail about the different defenses, techniques, go into details to coaches about different things that you want taught. And then it just allows you to understand that because you don't have a lot of time, you have to really organize yourself really well to make sure that the players, by the time they come to the field, that they really understand exactly what the plan is and what you expect of them. And you let them know, hey, guys, we don't have that much time. It's important that we really have this time, and you allowed to give them more homework. The fact that they're not with you, now they have more time at home to get on the iPad, to go on the Zoom. They can Zoom together as teammates. You can send them homework on the iPad and go through the Zoom situation. So it's you just find different ways to learn, and it's always important to learn your learners. The players are always looking at film. They're always looking at their phone and playing video games. Now the iPad and the Zoom becomes another video game for them. So you just kind of put more information, and they just soak it all up.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.